Welcome to the Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Kris Dumschat. Today we'll be sitting down with Dr. Maravene Loeschke to talk about her recent resignation from the Presidency of Mansfield University.
To have the opportunity to go back and serve in this new way was just intriguing to me. So it really was the Towson Presidency and the opportunity to not go home again, but to take it to the next level of excellence from a new position. And it's nice to go to an institution you don't have to learn to love. It's already there. You know, whenever you go someplace brand new, you have to find where you fit in, but Towson is already in my soul. So it was a very interesting possibility for me. What I'm going to remember the most about Mansfield, without question, is the students. I've been in higher education a long time, and I really do love being with the students, but I don't know that I have ever seen students quite like the ones we have here at Mansfield. They are so passionate and very hungry to get a college education, and supportive of each other, and dedicated to service, and funny and crazy, and I love them, and I will miss them terribly. I was at homecoming over the weekend down there, and so I went over and sat with the students. And yes, there's 22,000 of them, and there's 3,000 here. I think it's highly unlikely I'll know all their names, but you get to know the students by being with them a lot, and I consider that one of the most beautiful parts of the job. So that doesn't concern me at all. It's just going to take a little more energy, but it's not daunting to me. It'll be different. I don't know that I'll be able to leave my light on at the house, since the house is 20 minutes away from campus, but I'll find ways to do other things with the students that keeps me in touch with them. We're just all working together as a team, as we always do. There's such fine people here in the administration that these things in a university tend to be fairly seamless. The president is the head of the university, but is in no way the only person making anything happen. And when you have a good team in the administration like we have here, you just work together on who takes this piece and who takes that piece, and we'll continue working as a team as we always have. So it should be fairly seamless for the campus, I would think. And there's the holiday break, and then my start at Towson on the 1st of January. So I'll be here for the semester. I have no such plans about anything. I've only been president of Towson a week, so I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I have no idea. No, the chancellor and the board of governors will decide that, and they do it differently for each institution when a president is moving on, and I'm not involved in that conversation at all. I would imagine it will be announced fairly soon. Get involved with every aspect of the campus and the community as fast as you possibly can, and to make sure that you're a very, very strong advocate for Mansfield and its place in the system. There are a couple. One is the new housing, which is a very difficult thing to get in this economy, and to know that the Mansfield students now have the kinds of housing that they would get anywhere else in the system is a very rewarding thing, to see that up and open. And I've already asked if I could please be here for the ribbon cutting, so because that has really been important. But I'm also very proud of the strategic plan that was done inclusively by the entire campus, and that we've used it very seriously as a roadmap for what we've been doing. That was a very healthy process. It wasn't written from the top and everybody was told what we're going to do. We worked it out together. And I'm also very proud of our new academic programs. We've started a couple of new academic programs that are really quite cutting edge, and I'm proud of that as well. Graphic design, the Master's in Organizational Leadership, the undergraduate degree in outdoor leadership. There's a few examples. These are not programs that everybody has, and so it gave us a uniqueness that I think has served us very well. The major similarity, despite the size difference, is the value of the liberal arts as a basis for the education. again, let's take the size out of it, but both institutions believe very strongly in making sure that students are lifelong learners. And you do that by a very strong base in the liberal arts. Now, on top of that are strong professional programs. Towson even has several doctoral programs. But at the core of the undergraduate experience is the liberal arts. And that's the thing they share the most in common. After that, it's quite different. It really is. And I think they've added about 7 million cars since the last time I was there. So, you know, we have a lot of talking here about the 18-wheelers, and, you know, well, I can tell you it's nothing because it's a major traffic problem down there. The campus is much, much larger than this one, and, you know, many more facilities and those kinds of things. So the size makes everything else pretty much different. But at the bottom of all of it, you have students that are passionate about getting an education. So whether you're doing it in a school that size or this size, it really doesn't matter. It's a matter of making sure that person leaves with what they need to live a life of service with their careers. Not at all. We still have goals, and we want to try to get as many of them completed as possible, and nothing here is going to slow down because I'm leaving in December. We have stuff to do, and we were going to do it. It was grueling because I know they had I was nominated for the position, so I had to think about whether or not I would become a candidate. When I did, there was a search team, search committee. It was established on the campus that I believe had 23 people on it. So it's a very large search committee. And they went through all the applications, pulled the applications down to 12. And those 12 people were interviewed at the airport in Baltimore. It was a silent search, which is a very different search than I think Mansfield or any of the PASHE systems has ever done. And what that means is that the candidates are never known. They don't go to campus. They don't meet with all the constituencies on campus at all. The search committee represents the campus. It had students on it. It had alumni. It had all the people you would be meeting with were on the search committee. But you do not go to campus, and the campus never knows who was in the search. So that's a model that's used quite a bit. And because of that, there were a lot of sitting presidents in the search, which is because if it's never known that you're in the search, then it's less risk involved. Then they recommended 3. They pulled the airport interview down to 3. And the exciting thing for me during the airport interview, which I will never forget, is that's when the earthquake hit. So right in the middle of my interview at the airport, the chandeliers started swinging and the panels started rearranging themselves. And I just said, well, let's step outside. Because I didn't know I didn't think it was an earthquake, goodness sakes, I'd never been in one. But then we continued the interview outside because they had 12 of us coming in and we were all back to back, so I didn't want them to get off schedule. So we just continued outside, and then we came back in and finished up. But everyone, I think, will always remember that the earthquake hit in the middle of my interview. Yeah. Certainly I will. Anyway, the 3 candidates last week were invited down to meet with the chancellor of the Maryland system, and then had to be interviewed by the Board of Regents, which is analogous to the Board of Governors here in Pennsylvania. And by the end of the day, they had made a selection last Friday, and I was told on Saturday. So it was quiet, but very quick. It can, but there's an upside and a downside to both of these these are the top 2 major models. When you have a campus interview, which I prefer, I love going to the campus, and the candidates get a chance to see if it's a fit for them too. And so I like campus interviews. I look forward to them, so that wouldn't have concerned me at all. But a lot of sitting presidents will not be in the pool if you're on campus, because then if you don't get it, sometimes your campus feels like you don't love them anymore, or you know, whatever is going on, and so they won't even get in it. So you tend to not get quite as strong a pool. When you do the silent search, if your search committee is inclusive, and this one surely was, given that size, it tends to be okay. Now, if there was not a search committee that represented all of the different groups on campus, I think it would be a very big problem. Yeah. I think the campus is incredibly more beautiful than it was when I came. That's another thing I'm very proud of. is we have put benches and tables and umbrellas and paving and handicapped accessibility and lamp posts and everywhere for the students. We want them to be so comfortable. We don't want them to have to walk very far before they can sit down and relax. We have put a nice entryway wall. We've redone the cafeteria. We have done major things to beautify this campus, and the only reason we did is the students. We want them to love it here and be as comfortable here as they would in their own homes. So that part, I think anybody would tell you that Mansfield is very much more beautiful than it was. I was very disappointed when I arrived. I did not see a blooming plan. And you know, I just wanted the students to be around that kind of beauty. And we've all worked very hard as a team. I didn't do any of the planning. The grounds people did all that. But it is really something to behold now. And I think the students love it. I would hope that the campus is friendlier. When I first got here, I noticed that people didn't speak so much. Students were, you know, with their headphones and earphones and things, and we all as a team have engaged the students in saying hello and stop and how are you, and we notice that they're doing it more with each other. I think it's a friendlier campus. I think it's more open and warm than perhaps it was before. The students who've been here for a while could tell you better, but that's what I noticed, and I'm very pleased to see that. Very sad for both of us. I love these students so much, and they are very sad to see me leave, and I am sad to be leaving them. And I've gotten very close with a lot of them. I respect them, mentoring a lot of them. It's an interesting thing because the first 2 days, I think I got maybe 200 emails from students, and they all were, you know, don't go, you know, nice stuff that makes your life, you know, really meaningful. But a number of them have said to me, but then we think about this opportunity. We say to ourselves, what if we had a chance down the road to come back and be the president of Mansfield, and then we get it. We understand why you would want to do this. So they are being incredibly supportive and loving, and I'll never forget it as long as I live, their reaction. Small things, like when I was down there last weekend, we decided we wanted to go get seafood, you know, crab cakes, and there were about 750 restaurants to pick from. So, you know, there's that kind of thing. If you want to go to the theater, there's 45 theaters in Baltimore. The symphony is there. The arts that I love so dearly is all throughout Baltimore. Towson has over 2,500 art students. Art, theater, music, dance, film. So to get back to that kind of size and vitality of the arts community on campus and off is very exciting as well. If you want to go to the movies, the question is, like, which one of the 14 movies within a mile from here do you want to go to? It's big city again, as opposed to small town, which I have loved very dearly here. I wasn't sure I would adjust so easily because I've always been in bigger cities, but I did immediately. Within a week, I felt very comfortable, and I have really enjoyed being in a small town. But when you go back, you realize that there's some adjustments that you've made that are, and you go back and you say, this is kind of fun. So, you know, what I'll miss is the gentle human spirit that is Mansfield and Wellsboro and that whole area, the gentle human spirit, the community spirit, because that is not so easy in a large city. And so there's a positive and a negative on both sides. It's just exciting to be different for a while. I don't think it will, because people in higher education are used to this kind of transition. So people who come in as interims know how to do that. They don't make huge decisions that are going to change something for the next They're working that the next person coming into that job is going to be able to be successful at that. And people are professional. They know how to do it. So though it seems strange at an institution when several positions are open at once, across the country, it happens constantly. So this team here knows how to do it, and the interims know how to do it. So I don't think you're going to see much disruption because of it. It'll really be nice when everything gets filled and stable and everything can take off with new leadership. That'll be fantastic. But I wouldn't expect there to be a lot of problems in between. Nothing. I won't have any time to act at Towson. I did for years because they have a professional company that was associated with the university. But there's no way I can continue working in the arts while I'm president. That's a 24/7.
What about performing arts education?
I won't be involved in that. The dean who oversees that will be involved in that. So I'm there to support the arts, and I'm there to support that dean, but I won't be working directly in it anymore. I'm not going back there to be the head of the arts. I have plenty of things I've got to look after. It's nice to be back and be around such wonderful arts as at Towson and the surrounding areas, but I will not be directly involved with it. I would think so. Yeah, I would certainly think so, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kris Dumschat. Join us next time for the Inside Scoop.